like to call this meeting to order. It's the Howell Township Council regular meeting, July 16, 2024.
This meeting is being held in accordance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided in the manner prescribed by law. This agenda is complete to the extent known, and formal action will be taken. I'll begin with a roll call. Councilwoman Fisher?
Here.
Councilman Gager?
Here.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Here.
Mayor Berger?
Present.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark, is there any reason to go into executive this evening?
Yes, we have several topics to cover, including attorney-client and litigation.
Thank you. May I have a motion to go?
Motion to go into executive.
Second.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. Sorry we're running a couple of seconds late. It is July 16, 2024, and I'd like to begin our open meeting.
I'll begin with the roll call. Councilwoman Fisher?
Here.
Councilman Gager?
Here.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Here.
Mayor Berger?
Here.
Thank you.
I'd like to say the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence for all of our fallen heroes. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, we have two presentations this evening. One is from the Alliance. Krista, would you please come up? Would you face us? Face us.
Would you like us to?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good
Thank
evening.
you.
Can you hear me okay? Is that
Yes,
on?
ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so I am here tonight with Dakota Giordano. She is a member of the Howell Alliance for 4 years, volunteer, and with Julie Aitken, she's the Howell High School Student Assistance Coordinator, part of the Alliance. So we're honoring Dakota tonight as she departs to college on the 30th or 23rd? 30th of August. So we're going to read a plaque. We have a plaque for her, and we're going to just read a little bit about her to let the community know what a great young person she is, and then I'm just going to do an opioid settlement agreement update for you, and that's it. So.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having us. I'm Julie Atkins. I am the Student Assistance Coordinator over at Howell High School. I had the pleasure of knowing Dakota for the last 4 years. She is a phenomenal student and just a well-rounded individual. So the Howell Alliance thanks Dakota Giordano for her 4 years of volunteer services for substance use prevention and mental health awareness. This award is a token of our appreciation for Dakota's dedication to our community, commitment to our mission, and concern for her fellow youth. So we thank you so much, Dakota. We're going to miss you.
And we'll just give a little bit of background information to further embarrass you tonight. So, a dynamic young person committed to making the world a better place and helping those around her, Dakota has partnered with the Howell Alliance for 4 years as a youth leader on behind-the-scenes projects and community-facing events to advance substance use prevention and mental well-being. She has also participated in several trainings and youth conferences in these areas to increase her own education and ability to help others in need of support. Dakota always stepped up to help the Alliance with eagerness and a smile, no matter how early or late the hour of the event or how time-consuming the task. Her dedication to positively impacting others is a personal passion stretching far beyond seeking recognition or meeting her requirements for National Honor Society volunteer service hours. It is a part of who she is as a person. As a peer leader, Dakota recruited and oversaw other youth volunteers and offered her ideas and creativity to improve initiatives. As a role model for youth, she never missed an opportunity at community events like Trunk or Treat to chat with children about making good choices or to listen closely and sincerely to what they had to share. In addition to volunteering for the Howell Alliance, Dakota has served as the president of Howell High School's Students Against Destructive Decisions, or SAD, and the Howell Elks Antlers, and as the Howell Elks Antlers first vice president. She has earned awards for her participation in state photography and design competitions as a member of Howell High School's Student Technology Association, and has also studied dance for 10 years. As Dakota heads off to Stockton University this fall to pursue a degree in visual arts and graphic design, she plans to remain involved in the Howell Alliance during her visits home, especially at Howell Day and National Night Out. And you said trunk or treat, too, when we were sitting there. She would like to get involved in volunteer substance use prevention initiatives at college and possibly start a new club to serve this need if one doesn't already exist. And being who she is, she already found an opportunity to do that in the wellness center there. The Howell Alliance wishes Dakota a bright future in college and beyond, and extends a great appreciation for all she has done for the Howell community. Thank you. So if you want, they can just stand here. It's going to be a quick update for you on the opioid.
I just wanted to say,
Yes,
that
yes.
is, you've accomplished so much in really a short period of time. It's exemplary. I mean, outstanding job. You will propel. Good luck.
I
She's
want
a
to
gem.
congratulate you I'm a former TSA advisor and graphics teacher, and I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We were very blessed to have her. So now we'll segue into the other, which is not as fun as this, but the Howell Township's opioid settlement agreement funds report, which I did provide ahead of time, but I like to keep the community abreast of what we're doing and council advised as well. So the last time I reported was January 16th. As you know from then, all expenditures must comply with the agreement's approved uses criteria. And each year by September 1st, we have to file a report as Howell Township with the New Jersey Department of Human Services. So our current account balance is $158,397.95. And there'll be more incoming payments through at least 10 years, so as part of the settlement. So we can roll that over year for larger projects. We can save it. At first we weren't sure, but now we know we can keep it and then fund larger projects. Our strategic plan with it is to report at council meetings for transparency and to acknowledge those impacted by the opioid epidemic's tragedy, to implement general wellness and prevention programs to foster a healthy community across age brackets and other demographics, to prevent and mitigate substance use and mental health disorders, to provide benefit to those impacted by opioid misuse and abuse epidemic in coordination with state and county programs that also have funding, and to create and implement community and cross-department collaborative projects. So just a few of our recent ones. We do ongoing mental health support workshops. Our next one we're doing is a light breakfast. We're doing it here on Saturday, August 24th at 9 a.m. We do prevention education support materials. We provide them for student assistance coordinators at the high school and the pre-K to 8 district, as well as health teachers and school resource officers from Howell Township Police Department. We support the Howell Fire Bureau each spring. They do a great presentation called After the Fire. It's on situational awareness and decision-making for the seniors leaving for college. So we support that. We do support law enforcement against drugs, or LEAD. We do an annual graduation for all the 5th graders in the district who participate in the year-long program. And then we offer support, along the way with projects that they do. And that involves the police department and the pre-K to 8 schools. We do annual statewide Elks Peer Leadership Conference. That's every February at the Ocean Plaza, I think it's called, Resort in Long Branch. And you went, actually. So we sponsor about 4 high school students through SAD each year, and then they turnkey what they learn about substance use prevention and decision-making to their school community. We did Hooked on Fishing, Not on Drugs again this year, a free fishing day at Echo Lake. Some of you were there. Great day. We served breakfast and lunch. We had about 200 people this year at Echo Lake. So great family day. We did get a larger event tent for the Howell Police Department to provide more room and interaction at our community events. So they have the ability to bring vehicles and set everything up under there, and it's more of like a, conversational atmosphere rather than us all tucked in there closely underneath. And they can do demonstrations and more community engagement. We do the annual New Jersey Prevention Network Conference in Atlantic City for Alliance members. You went, and that gives us information on drug trends at the state, national, and local levels. And then just our ongoing initiative, the Alliance and the Howell Police Department partner on a joint campaign to disseminate behavioral health support resources. And you'll see in the lobby one of the banners that we have there with QR codes so people can just scan to recovery and treatment support services and to get Narcan as well. And there is one at the police department lobby too. So just to keep you abreast of what we've been doing. And I guess that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Very nicely done. Thank you. We have a second presentation. It's police accreditation presented by Mr. Harry Delgado?
That's fine, Mayor, yes. Thank you.
Sorry.
Mayor and members of the council, it is indeed my honor here tonight to come here and recognize your police department for having achieved their secondary accreditation. And just to add context to what that means is, and we were having a conversation back there, someone asked me the significance of the achievement. It is, in plain English, it's a big deal. But accreditation is a rigorous process. Out of all the agencies, law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey that would be eligible to apply, about 54% of all of them have made it once. About 32% have made their first reaccreditation, but only about 12% actually have gone as far as making their second reaccreditation, and that's the elite group that your police department actually belongs to, is in that 12% of all the law enforcement agencies of the state of New Jersey. So if you indulge me for a couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you the significance of the achievement. So the Howell Police Department has once again made a commitment to adhering to best practices at the state and national level in a highly regarded statewide law enforcement accreditation program. This program, administered to the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, has helped to transparently demonstrate the professionalism and preparedness of state's law enforcement agencies. It is purposefully designed to enhance professionalism and transparency in the state's public safety system. Now, during these uniquely challenging times and the threat to our health and safety, encouraging law enforcement agencies to follow standardized practices and policies is a potentially life-saving and cost-effective investment of time and resources. Accreditation gives an agency like the Howell Police Department a preparedness plan and a verification of excellence. Accreditation status represents a significant professional achievement. Now, accreditation is a process. In the state of New Jersey, an agency needs to meet 112 standards, many of which require multiple proofs of compliance. It is a progressive and time-proven way of helping law enforcement agencies calculate and improve their overall performances. And certainly, it is a certification by an independent reviewing authority that the accredited agency was carefully measured against an established set of state and national standards and has met or exceeded accepted practices in the field of law enforcement. And just to abbreviate, I'd just like to share with you, at the end of these 3 years, there's a report that is generated because there's an on-site assessment that is conducted where they have to actually demonstrate and show tangible proof to all the standards. There's a report generated that I get to review, and if in fact it meets the criteria, it gets passed on with recommendation to the commission. I'd like to just paraphrase some of the things that were, I believe, remarkable in that report. Under the leadership of Chief John Storrow, a high level of competence, leadership, and professionalism is evident within the agency. This is evident by their assertion that the department must change and adapt with the current societal climate and culture, both local and national and at the national level. Public support, confidence, and respect are crucial. As such, according to Chief Storrow, the agency focus on future issues should be to continue community-focused policing, enhance the already strong bond between the agency and the school district, striving for continual improvement by reviewing, revising, and instituting policies and procedures that reflect the best practices of this profession, increase the sworn strength of the department and the number of command staff and frontline supervisor personnel to ensure adequate supervision at all levels within the department. That strikes us a solid strategic plan by a head of an agency. So in closing, it is the opinion of the assessment team that the Howell Police Department is a highly professional and committed agency, which exemplifies all of the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. And again, indeed, this is my honor here tonight, on behalf of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Commission, to congratulate Chief John Sturrow, Accreditation Manager Lieutenant Scott Revelak, the members of the Howell Police Department, some of which are here tonight, the mayor, the council, and those citizens that they so proudly serve, for having achieved their second state accreditation, joining a very, very exclusive group of law enforcement agencies that have made this commitment to excellence in policing. So to all, indeed, congratulations. I'd like to present the chief with the certificate. Chief. So on behalf of the association, I'd like to present you with the certificate of accreditation. That's beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Just say a couple words if you I just want to say thank you to the mayor and the council for your support for this accreditation process. As Mr. Delgado had mentioned, this is a 3-year process. Every time it resets, it's another 3-year process that the officers have to get involved with and make sure it gets completed. And I'd like to thank Lieutenant Revelak, who's here. There he is. For all his work in the accreditation process over the last 7 years. He's been working on this, so he did the lion's share of the work, so I want to congratulate him and thank him. I'd also like to wish good luck to Sergeant Popick, who's here as well, because he has taken the torch from Lieutenant Revelak, and he's going to be moving ahead with our accreditation process, hopefully to get reaccredited.
Glutton for
once again.
punishment?
Yeah, kind of. I'd also like to thank Joe Clark and his team and the professionals that have supported us both financially and whatever we needed for the accreditation process. It is a big deal, but I'm proud of it, and I appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Congratulations to you and the entire department. I really, it is a big deal.
Thank you. I appreciate
And I'm very proud to say that it always has been a great PD, so
Continuing
thank you
the
very
tradition.
much. Thank you.
Mayor. Thank you.
At this time, may I have acceptance for the minutes of June 25, 2024? May I have a motion?
Motion to accept?
Second?
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
I'll abstain, I was not at that meeting.
Thank you.
Do we have any reports from our professionals, Mr. Clark?
A couple quick ones. So first, as has been announced on our website, the concert for tomorrow is postponed. We're expecting some pretty bad weather. It'll be rescheduled, and we'll get an announcement out. There is another concert scheduled for the next Wednesday and then the Wednesday after that. So the first one was a pretty big success. We're hoping to continue it. That's it.
It was outstanding. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Great job. Okay. I have the hearing of citizens. Mr. Ryberger?
Each person shall first give their name and address to the clerk. The council should be addressed as a collective body and not as individual members. Each person shall have one turn to address the council, and comments shall not exceed a total of 5 minutes. Speakers shall be notified when their time has run, and no time extensions shall be permitted.
Paul Rayberger, 147 Arnold Boulevard. I've been coming in here now probably 8 years. Past couple of meetings, I've been trying to call to your attention about that intersection on Lakewood Allenwood Road and Arnold Boulevard where the trucks can't make that turn. They not only are in the opposing lane, they're in the opposing lane's shoulder. But I sent a video, I don't know if you saw it. It was from an actual dash cam from our vehicle. And it just wants to show what these bus drivers are seeing. It was a probably 80,000-pound tractor trailer coming head-on into the vehicle. So just imagine a school bus, someone driving a school bus with 30 little kids behind it. And you're looking at the truck coming straight at you. My question is, though, this isn't the first time. I talked about this about a year and a half ago. And you people sent your, this guy right here, Howard?
Mr.
Community
Howard?
Development? Yeah. To investigate that intersection, okay? And I saw him out there, and I got witnesses that saw him out there. But yet, the guy was over here I was in here the first meeting of February. He's sitting there saying there's no reason to get the trucks off the road. I got 100, I gave you the document from the police department last meeting. There was 115 trucks using that intersection. Something like 40-something school buses going through it, and believe me, there's a lot more school buses than that. I'm going to do a video for you, document. It's probably twice as many school buses. But my question is, what's going on here? I went to the meeting with Joe Clark. The first thing the guy threw in my face at that meeting was, I know there's a school on that road, but it doesn't matter because all the kids are bussed in. But yet, when Mrs. O'Donnell asked him if he was familiar with the schools on that road, he said he had no idea. The police department did 2 reports, surveys of the road. Not once did they mention that intersection. So how can you go out there and do reports on that road and not even mention the fact that the trucks can't even fit on the road? I mean, is that what we're going to wait for? A truck to crash into one of these school buses? I just don't want to see what happened the last time when somebody over at the police department, you got a road here, 2,000 to 2,500 vehicles, trucks, cars, buses a day use that intersection. Average speed on that road is 35 miles an hour. They average 80% of the cars are doing 50 miles an hour. So one of the geniuses over at the Howell Township Police Department took the no passing zone out and put a passing zone in. I left messages. I says, someone's going to get killed out here. Sure enough, head-on collision. And a little girl was killed, another one mangled. Clark had details on that accident when I was at that sham meeting about a year ago. And the occupants of the vehicle were ejected from the vehicle. Probably the 2 little girls. It was a head-on collision, so they probably flew right through the windshield. And I had to come in to get it back to a no passing zone. Mrs. Berger worked on it, Mrs. O'Donnell, and the late Mr. Walsh. We put it back into a no passing zone. So now they want to do another survey. They already did 2. These 2 guys right here, all they keep saying is, let's do another survey with nothing but a delay tactic. I mean, how long are we going to play this game? Somebody needs to step up and do something. Diane has my phone number. Anybody needs a further clarification on anything, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you exactly what's going on. I'll give you a history of what's going on. Something needs to be done. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
Good evening, council members and our paid professionals. Larry White, 15 Renway. I have a couple of questions about the agenda this evening, actually 4. R24-271, R24-271. I'd like to know what service Buist is providing to the township. It's not mentioned in the resolution. R24-276, R24-276. Where is there a copy of the emergency plan that's been updated that the citizens can view? That's not provided to
Is that
us.
277?
24, I believe, maybe I...
Howell Township Emergency Ops Pro?
I apologize, that was a typographical error. Thank you.
No worries.
24-277. Where's a copy of the emergency plan? I don't know that the citizens have been provided with the updated emergency plan that you are about to adopt. Where can we view that? And perhaps public review and comment about that plan should be solicited before that resolution is passed. R24-278A. When I opened up the agenda this morning, there was no information next to that. I received 2 updates during the course of the day, and finally, I know what's involved with that. So I watched the planning board meeting recording from July 8th, and the resolution, as I read it, does not reflect the agreement that Active Acquisitions made with the zoning board at that time. And specifically, the zoning board allowed them to delay the remediation of Fairfield Road because of the Stavola property that Active Acquisitions also got approval for and owns, but is currently under litigation. And so consequently, he asked the zoning board to wait until that was resolved, and then he would take care of the roadway all the way up to the north end of the Stavola property. That's not reflected in the resolution, and I'm wondering why. Finally, I'm happy to see that the farm ordinances are finally being reintroduced this evening. And my question for the council and the professionals and the planning board, or I'm sorry, not the planning board. So what transpired with the Eagle Oaks objection? They wrote a letter in the spring when these things were first introduced, threw a big wrench into the works, and the process by which that was resolved and their objections overcame was never made available to the citizens. And I'm wondering how that compromise or resolution alter the ordinances being introduced tonight. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up to speak?
Good evening. Elaine Taylor, Maxim Southard Road. I'm here to lobby for the change that you want to make in the dog ordinance to include all of the animals in Howell, including farm animals. Now, to me, this is a problem for the farmers, because I have had horses break out from my place that wanted to go across the road to find some mares to hang out with. And, you know, I mean, it was inconvenient, you know, and it was a problem, but if I had been fined for that, I think that I would have been in bankruptcy, okay? Because it does happen. It was a joke, okay? It does happen, and it's hard sometimes for the farmers to control that situation, because all these animals have to do all day is to find a way out, and they really do work hard at it. So I think that this is I think it's a money grab. I'm sorry to say. I think it's a money grab. I think it's very unfair to farmers. Once again, it's not farm-friendly. I really wish you would not vote for this change, because it's very important to the farmers that, I mean, I know that, you know, there are some people that don't do things properly, okay? But to punish everyone for the few is not really acceptable. And I wish you would not vote for this change, or at least rewrite it some way that's fair to the farmers, because this is not fair. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm getting emotional. Okay, that's enough on that. Please, don't vote for this. It's really important for the farmers. Another thing on my mind, which, I think we have to start now, is I think we need to create a committee for the homeless and the needy in this township, because there are so many hungry and homeless people living in their cars, living everywhere, and we need to do something for these people. Just create a committee, just like we have a farmer's advisor, we have, environmental, we have this. Let's create a committee. We used to have the citizens committee. Let's do something. We have to do something before it's winter again. I mean, everybody's suffering out there in the heat now, but, please, as a community, we need to do something. It's very important. And I have a million things, but these are the few things that I'm feeling. One day I was at the senior center, and I saw this woman practically crawling up the walkway to get into her car, okay? It's just too long of a path for this seniors to walk that are not in good condition. Now, I have two golf carts that aren't working. I wanted to donate one. I went to Gerard's and I asked them to help me to get them going so that we could donate one to them, so that you could give the people a ride up to their cars up on the hill. They couldn't do it for whatever reason. But if there's anybody out there in the world, in the Howell Township world, that can help make this happen, can we please try to work together as a community to make it happen? Because the senior center, they do such a good job. They need our help. And we all have to work together to help the seniors, okay? That's very important to me, very important. I want to thank everyone for getting going on the ordinances for the farmers' ordinances, and hopefully we'll keep moving forward positively on that and not have too much overreach and too much expense for the farmers. But thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
Bob Carroll, 406 Oak Glen Road. Just had a couple of questions, maybe some clarification on the same ordinance that Elaine touched on, the O-24-29 for the livestock. The way it reads right now, I understand the benefit to the community for it. Rampant livestock that people just don't take care of running in public areas absolutely should be controlled. The way it's worded is that you're automatically guilty if your livestock gets out. In the event of a storm, a tree falls across the fence, I raise livestock commercially, cow walks out, those are an act of God. That's not negligence on my part. I feel that should be reworded. If someone is knowingly letting their livestock run rampant in public areas, that's probably something that needs to be addressed. If it's, if it's something that, something happens, a tree falls across the fence, fireworks spook the animals, a deer runs through the fence, happens quite a bit on our farm. Deer will run in front of a car, panic, run through the fence, ruin the fence, and then the livestock gets out. That's not necessarily negligence, in my opinion. This kind of stuff happens. Especially in my case, the last thing I want is my livestock out in the street at risk of getting hit by a car. I raise cows, they're worth quite a bit of money. The last thing we want is for them to get injured. So just in that wording, if somebody is knowingly letting their livestock, interfere with the public, I think that would be better worded than just if any livestock is out, that somebody is automatically guilty, which is the way it's written in Section A right now. I have a couple other points. currently handles, like if livestock gets out, who handles that? Is that animal control?
I believe so.
All right.
Yeah, it's SPCA.
Okay. Anytime, I live on Oak Glen Road, there's several people that raise livestock. Anytime there's been an animal out, usually it's the police department, and if I see, I will help them get it back in. Is the ordinance for a specific problem? Is it like in a residential zone, or is it the whole town? Is there any difference between, maybe somebody that has someone in a residential zone that's close versus an agricultural zone? Some people do free range their chickens on their own farm. They're a benefit. You don't have to use pesticides. The chickens eat the bugs instead of having to use pesticides. Is that an issue? So that was just some of the things that I saw. And I could understand, a public nuisance if someone is, mistreating their livestock. But I think that could probably use a little bit of work in the wording. Does anybody have livestock experience on the council? Or I should address you as a whole. Does the council have livestock experience?
No.
Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar. The last thing you want is for your livestock to get out. So same with us. I would just prefer if that could be worded so that you're not automatically guilty. That's all I have. Thank you.
I believe that's reasonable. There is no one else on the list. Is there anyone out there that wants to come up? Otherwise, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion?
Motion to close public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so could we pull out that?
Well, just, Kaylin, do you want to explain why this is on there tonight?
Yeah, so we can go through some of the questions that were raised, but I will address the livestock issue as that was just addressed. We received a request from the county SPCA to incorporate that type of language into our existing running at large ordinance. So as it was the existing ordinance only pertained to dogs. Now we are including all types of livestock and other types of pets as well into that ordinance. And it's really for repeat offenders, honestly. It's because SPCA is spending a lot of time and resources assisting people getting their animals back, and that's kind of a deterrent for repeat offenders are issuing these violations. Specifically, I believe the request came to the township after a particular incident with a pig getting loose. And since our ordinances didn't cover it, that's why they asked us. We matched it to match other towns nearby, and we tried to actually make the fines and violations lower than some neighboring towns. So we did take that into consideration when drafting this ordinance.
Fred has a good idea.
If you're done. If you're done. Listen, I understand why we need it and why we should have it, but in my eyes, that first violation should be a warning, like we do with just about everything else.
That can be an easy fix.
Yeah, and we could do that. And just to clarify, it's not a strict liability statute, so it's not an instant fine if your dogs or chicken or, this was a particularly ornery pig, and I guess it gave the SPCA some fits, and we didn't really have it covered. So, there's obviously discretion involved, and even then, if a summons is issued, it goes before the municipal court judge, and she'll be able to weigh everything out too. Is sort of an impartial third party to it all, so, yeah.
So what do we want to do with that? Do we pull that, rewrite it, and then reintroduce?
Yeah, we can do that. If the council's happy with that, I can easily make the first issue a warning and then do a tiered kind of approach going further.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Is there more to the ordinance than what's actually on here, on the agenda?
So, yeah,
Which is
it's
up
the
to
entire
2 minutes.
chapter. I only called out the specific parts that we were amending. So when I say running at large, it's the domestic animals chapter of the ordinance. So there's different regulations. There's pet license fees and stuff all covered under that chapter. It's not in our ordinance because I wasn't touching any of those sections of the code. So I only pulled in the relevant sections.
Are we okay with the change?
I think that was a good opportunity to hear some of the suggestions from the gentleman. Could we add language that says if acting in a negligent manner or knowingly lets a pet or an animal escape?
My suggestion would be a tiered approach. Sometimes state of mind is difficult to determine, and, if it's a repeat offender, state of mind might not be the issue. A deterrent might be the issue, but I think I would suggest a tiered approach instead with issuing a warning letter.
Is exigent circumstances mentioned in the full ordinance, or probably not?
They're not, but there's always discretion when we're issuing summonses and violations as well.
Yeah, I mean, if
Animal-
they come in and they plead as a defense, well, there was a lightning storm and a tree fell over the fence and my cows got out, that's a very different situation than I left my fence open for the 13th time. So, we'll give the judge some latitude on it in situations like that, so.
So we'll pull it. What number is that?
9.
29,
It's an ordinance,
24-29.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to say something to the gentleman and asked if we had any experience with animals. No. But I had a few incidences with animals that got out, and one of them was a giant bull that got out on Route 80 that was running along the shoulder of the road. We didn't know what to do with it. Finally, the owner showed up. He walked right up to it, grabbed it by its nose ring, and led it away. And that was it, so.
There's very limited people that understand how to handle that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And I understand the public's aspect versus our view of it.
yeah. Or horses. I was told once that if a horse gets out, it's going to usually run downhill. I don't know, so.
Where the greenest grass is.
Before we move forward, can we please complete all of the answers?
So we dealt with the livestock ordinance. We'll look to work with the senior center on ingress egress. I'm not sure how much we can change that, but that's, it's good to hear that concern. Homeless, we'll look into that, see what we can do. And in terms of Mr. Rayberger, I don't know what to say anymore. His story keeps changing to the point where, there's blood on our hands. As far as I know from traffic, there's been no fatal accidents on that road at any point ever. We've had multiple meetings. We've looked over all of the paperwork in the file. And the road, nobody likes, speeding's the biggest complaint by far that we get in this town on every road. And nobody likes it. And I sympathize with them, and we're looking to do enhanced targeting down there and posting some of the Dazzler-type speed signs. But the meetings that he claims to have attended with us are not meetings that I ever recall being in. So I think a lot of it's fabricated. And in terms of Matt being at that intersection, observing it, that's an outright.
Mistaken identity. I don't do those investigations. I leave that to the traffic safety unit. We'll reach out to Mr. Rayberger, let him know the chief's always got an open door to discuss this. We have done the studies, the police department has, and we've met on those studies. And there are studies from past police chiefs and past police departments, and they all say the same thing. That it doesn't warrant a truck ban. It doesn't warrant a lower speed limit. All that does is create more speeding because the people don't listen to the speed limit. We've really gone over the issue a lot, and when we explain the...
What about a bum? I'll throw it out, I know.
Yeah,
nobody likes
we've
that,
talked
but-
about that multiple times. Then, not only do you have speed bumps everywhere, you can't plow the roads. So that's an issue. The suspensions on cars are a lot better nowadays, so they're able to hit the bumps at speed, believe it or not, and all you end up doing is a noise problem, right? So whatever house is in front of it with the speed bump, you're going to have them asking, why'd you put the speed bump there? So
We didn't specifically study Arnold Boulevard in the circulation element when we updated that a couple years ago, so I don't know the exact count, but it's a collector road at least. It could be an arterial road. Maximum Southern Road got upgraded. There's a lot of traffic on these roads. If we go and put a truck restriction on that road, it's going to another road in town. Not only do we have to come up with the warrants to justify it, they don't exist. We have to get the counties, the other towns surrounding us involved, and those trucks are going on other roads. So we're just going to move the issue to a different spot.
So Matt brings up a good point too, because that's how all this started. If everybody remembers, we talked a while back about creating a system of truck routes in town. So you have to do counts, you have to go and put together your paperwork, and then the only person that can sign off on it is the director of motor vehicle in New Jersey. We can't ban trucks. Now, Mr. Rayberger originally said, well, I'm going to figure a short circuit to that, and he clearly hasn't, because it goes from here up to the DMV, and it's a difficult process. And again, like we've said, if you burden interstate commerce unnecessarily, it's an unconstitutional restriction that's not worth the paper it's written on. So there's a lot of work that goes into that determination before it even gets to Trenton. With regard to Mr. White's questions, Resolution 271, Buste Incorporated, we had a situation where the compressors on the air conditioning on the north side of the building failed, and so we had them replaced. That's what this is for. 277, the emergency plan, it's a public document when it's adopted, so it'll be available. We can send it out in digital format if he puts in an OPR, if he even puts in an email and requests it. 278A, I'll let Caitlin address that.
So 278A is a resolution before you tonight, and it is authorizing the township to enter into an agreement for municipal roadway improvements. This is for active acquisitions. They own the Rock Solid warehouse, and they went before the zoning board either this week or last week, the July 8th, to request a waiver or a delay in certain conditions from their zoning board approval, including paving the length of the road, installing some stormwater drainage systems, and the zoning board approved their application pending certain conditions, and that was because they said that they would do certain things above and beyond that what they were originally had to do. So they are going to be widening Fairfield Road. They're going to be repaving, milling it, do edge-to-edge paving with some curbing. The only catch is it's going to be completed by the end of 2025. But in the meantime, I believe they're going to move forward to get their COO. And for us as a township, I do believe this is a great deal because, one, once they get their CO, the warehouse comes onto the tax rolls for the township, so we're going to be seeing some positive revenue streams with that. And two, we're going to get a completed project at the end of 2025. So this roadway that they're going to be paving and completing, if they were to rush and do it now, there's other projects along Fairfield Road that's going to have to tear up the road and go into it. So at this point in time, we're going to get, some patchwork done, and they're going to clear out the stormwater drains, so hopefully some of the flooding on the road will disperse, and in return, we're going to get performance bonds and guarantees that this work is going to be completed by the end of 2025, and we're going to get a complete product at that time. So I think this is kind of a great deal for everybody involved.
And just a little bit about the alternative is we don't pass this, we don't enter into the agreement, we don't issue a CO. So not only do we not get the tax revenue, but the site's going to wait, the road's going to wait for the other litigation to be settled, for the other development to occur, and the road's not going to get paved anyway. This gives a drop dead date. It's got to be done. If it's not done, there's bonds in place, the town's protected. We have all the money in place to do it ourselves, and we will. On the day that it expires, we will. This gets the clock ticking, and if we really just kind of decide not to go this route, it's not going to get done in that time frame anyway, so let's put a date on it.
Caitlin, as per our discussions earlier about this, where's the real guarantee that they're going to do this?
So the guarantee is going to be in the signature of the signing of the roadway improvement plan
Okay.
that we're going to do. There's plans that are going to be attached to it that were reviewed by our township engineer. The agreement I've reviewed and edited as well. And then additionally with this, they're going to be posting the bonds, and we're going to be holding the bonds, and there's a certain cash percentage that's going to be sitting with the township associated with those bonds. So those are really powerful assurances for the town that this is going to be completed. And if not, like Matt said, we have the ability to go ahead and do the work ourselves.
Okay. Thanks.
Have we answered everyone's questions or concerns?
Just, there was a question about Eagle Oaks and the farm ordinances, so we did meet with Eagle Oaks. I think there was a question as to the public nature of that. I mean, we have meetings every day with people, so we met with them. We discussed the concerns. They ultimately called us out on the ordinances. They were pretty clear about the liability we were going in with those ordinances and the amount of people. They have events of all different sizes. They have a proof of concept, and they let us know very firmly exactly what we were missing. Things like buffering, things like noise attenuation, parking, and how repeated parking in fields, repeated parking off driveways causes not only issues on the site, stormwater issues, but tracking onto roadways, and then the motoring public becomes unsafe. It was, it was a meaningful conversation, and we got to hear it. They operate a similar facility, very close to residential properties. They've had to deal with their own complaints, and they've dealt with their residents nearby, and they gave us a little bit of real-world experience, and it definitely opened our eyes. We tried to be very giving in the last set of ordinances, and we were going to take that as saying, we're going to see how this goes, because we didn't know if it was too much, too little. This is new territory for everyone. The only other ordinance in the state that we know of has a 50-person cap on it. And that's where we've come down to in the ordinances, because it's where we're most comfortable. It supports, if you're putting in parking, that it keeps you under stormwater management levels. And we're going so far as to make every special event in the ARE zones permitted uses. So we're getting rid of use variances, and we're shortening the checklist for the planning board. So I don't think anybody's happy with the deal. On the township side, there's still some liability hanging out there. On the farmer side, we know that they're not thrilled with everything, but that's the nature of a compromise. So I think that's where we are.
Thank you. At this time, may I have a resolution for R 24-253 through
278A.
278A? Thank you.
Motion to approve resolutions R 24-253 through R 24-278A.
Second. Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadel?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Thank you. The consent resolutions pass.
Is a new resolution R 24-279, providing for the insertion of special items of revenue in the 2024 budget of the Township of Howell, Chapter 159, Click It or Ticket amended. May I have a motion to approve resolution R 24-279?
Motion to approve R 24-279.
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadel?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Thank you. The resolution passes.
There is no unfinished business, but we do have introduction of ordinances. We're pulling the first ordinance, 024-29, for review and change in the wording. So may I have a motion to pull?
I'll make the motion to, I will make a motion to pull that ordinance.
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ordinance 24-30, an ordinance amending Chapter 188 Land Use, Article 1, Title Purpose, Definitions, Section 4, entitled Definitions and Rules of General Applicability of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to introduce.
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The ordinance is properly introduced.
Ordinance 02431, ordinance amending Chapter 188 Land Use, Article 9, zoning requirements to add Section 64.1 entitled Farm-Related Special Events, Small Scale of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell. May I have a motion to introduce?
I move to introduce ordinance 24-31.
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Thank you. The ordinance is properly introduced.
Ordinance 024-32, an ordinance of the Township of Howell supplementing Chapter 188, Article 10 zones, supplementing Section 188-69 entitled Agricultural Rural Estate Zones, ARE 1, ARE 3, ARE 4, and ARE 6, and Section 69.1 Agricultural Rural Estate, ARE 2, to include farm-related special events, large scale, and farm-related special events, small scale, as a permitted use. Seriously? May I have a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce ordinance 24-32.
Second?
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Thank you. The ordinance is properly introduced.
Ordinance 024-33. I want to say thank you for putting the number in, the numerical number. I mean, I try every time. An ordinance amending Chapter 139, Fees, Article 17, Land Use, subsection 31, entitled Land Use Certificates, and Chapter 139-34, entitled Site Plans and Subdivisions of the Rules of General Applicability of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell. May I have a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce ordinance 24-33.
Second.
Councilwoman Fisher?
Yes.
Councilman Gager?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nadell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The ordinance is properly introduced.
Our next meeting would be August 20th. We only have meetings once in August and September.
September.
For, in those 2 months. So the only one in August will be on the 20th. At this time, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in and speaking to us this evening.